This is our inaugural 5 Under 35 program, and today we're looking forward to hearing from 5 alumni who all traveled different paths to come to Michigan Tech and have all been on different journeys since. They've had incredible stories, and today we're here to celebrate their accomplishments, their stories, and the distinction that they bring to Michigan Tech and the impact that they have on their communities, the nation, and our world.
One of those facts of life that I learned during my time at Tech. A favorite of mine came shortly after my first exam and was explained using 4 simple words. You can't curve zeros. Welcome to Michigan Tech. Don't worry though. I was invited back for this event, which means that something must have gone right. So, as Les alluded to, 4 years after I started at Tech, I began my PhD at Stanford, followed by several years at MIT before starting my current position as a professor at Imperial College London. But trying to figure out exactly how to explain the impact that Michigan Tech has had on my career, it's hard to know exactly where to begin. Michigan Tech made me curious, really, really curious.
I started out in Iron River. I came here and got a degree in chemistry at Michigan Tech, so I was here for 4 years. And then I went to the University of Michigan for medical school and a master's degree, as Les mentioned, and then took my path out east to Boston at one of the Harvard hospitals for my general surgery training, which I was there for 8 years. And then went to Dartmouth Medical Center for a vascular surgery fellowship, and then on back now down to Boston. So I'm actually, after all these years, I've been training ever since I left here. I just now finished, and now they've given me a title of assistant professor of surgery. So now I get to teach young surgeons, which is a great pleasure. If Albert Einstein walked in and was on my operating room table with what I have available to me today, with the technology that I have now, thanks to the engineers, with the education that I have now, thanks to Michigan Tech, I would have him out of the hospital in 24 hours after his aneurysm was repaired, and he would be doing the next theory of relativity.
I'm a 2010 graduate of the mechanical engineering program without honors. And when I was being asked to do this, I was very excited. I was very thrilled to discover and figure out what I wanted to talk about. And it gave me the opportunity to reflect on some of the fun things I've had in my career. I've worked with Manoj Bhargava. I got to work side by side with Tom Lasorda, the ex-CEO of Chrysler. I got to run my own business. I'm doing advanced military technology. But people always came back and they asked me about 2 different things every time. What was it like to climb Denali? And how did you like Michigan Tech? And when I started digging into those questions and how many times those questions were asked, I realized that Michigan Tech had actually taught me how to climb before I had ever climbed Denali. And I thought more about that, and then it came to an acronym, and that acronym came out to be commitment, learning, innovating, meaningful, and my favorite being uncomfortable.
I remember anxiously looking at the catalog before, when I went to go sign, and I was thinking about what should I major in, and they had this new program at Michigan Tech. At the time, it was fairly new. It was pre-law studies under the social sciences department. So I told my mother nervously, I think I'm going to choose this degree, and because you can't major in basketball, and I had to pick something, right? Okay, so I was going into it, and I really enjoyed all of my classes. I was doing constitutional law, international law. I was learning so much. Most of all, my writing skills were improving. And the greatest part about Michigan Tech is how the professors really take an interest in their students and really engage their students. And Professor Susanna Peters, approached me and told me one day that she thinks I should apply for the Ford Motors Global Scholars Program, a fellowship at the Washington Center in Washington, D.C. And I was the first student from Michigan Tech accepted to that program.
I was a fairly active student. I would love to come to stuff like this. And I didn't know what I had in store for me with a double E degree in my education and from Houghton, Michigan, and where I was going to take my career. Michigan Tech is it breeds tough. I've never really seen that in other colleges and places that we hire engineers or people from, they don't have a similar toughness. So I moved to Peoria, Illinois, in the Caterpillar's marketing training program. They hired me specifically for their electric power division. So Caterpillar, they don't sell just the big machine equipment you see, picking up all the snow. They actually sell, they're one of the world's largest supplier of engines and generator sets. I had a leg up on my competition within Caterpillar, who was hired for these same sort of roles, because I knew from my power classes, thank you for EE 42, 21, and 22, this electric power and the power side of the world. And so the people that were hired in with me didn't know it like I did. So I hit the ground running, they hit the ground walking.